Hey Sagittarius, welcome to your May 2026 reading. I'm going to start by pulling 3 cards and clarify by pulling more as we go. So get comfortable or start with a deep breath and let's tune into your May 2026. Now, if this reading ends up resonating, I will leave a link to an extended version down below. I have the Devil card. The 6 of Swords coming after that is really a good sign. And the Knight of Pentacles. Things are moving on. Okay, you're getting out of that sticky situation this month, it seems, which is a really positive thing. If this reading resonates, oh, I said that bit. Never mind. Okay, maybe I meant to say if you would subscribe and comment, like, or share this video, I would really appreciate that too. So the Devil card being here would suggest that things have been pretty heavy for you, pretty weighty, okay? For some of you, you're dealing with a situation in which you've really had to support another person, care for them, take really special care of this person because they might be more vulnerable. And that has been actually quite a lot of pressure for you. There might have been a situation where this person wasn't fully able-bodied, or even they were dealing with something pretty heavy themselves, and for whatever reason you've been kind of in the thick of it so far. But this could be any kind of life pressure. It goes a little bit deeper than just like the day-to-day regular stresses that we can expect to experience. This goes a little bit deeper because of its major arcana energy, and just the Devil card has that signature of sometimes feeling a little powerless or helpless in your situation, and we'll clear it up. But the brilliant news for me to see is that both of these cards that are following and seeing you through the month of May into June have a signature around progress and transition and moving on. Slowly though. The Knight of Pentacles, he's not like you, Sagittarius, he's a more slow moving energy. And that can kind of sometimes clash with your own personality and desires. But I think it's very important that the moving on from the more turbulence of the water here in the 6 of Swords to this kind of calmer way beyond in the future and where you're going next, I think that that process can't be rushed, and I think that that's why it's coming up like this, to say take your time, because you're letting go of some pretty thorny issues, or you're letting go of a bigger weight that you've been carrying, and things are starting to calm down in the month of May for you. And in terms of kind of work and finances, if it's coming up around that area of life, the Knight of Pentacles is very good to see because it shows me that you're making progress. It's not, like I say, happening overnight or like with a really intense speed behind it. It's just kind of like a gradual moving through, moving upwards, moving on from. And in terms of work, you're actually really judicious and diligent about what you're doing. It tells me you really care a lot. I see a lot of service-oriented energy in this reading, like you're in service to others. And the trick here, or the balance, because 6 is always about finding a harmonious kind of element to what it is we're doing. So the kind of trick here is to be in service without feeling like you're in servitude, or without feeling like you are essentially carrying it all or overburdened. So that's the delicate kind of art you're doing and working on this month. In terms of finances, if the Devil card has felt like debt and pressure and financial trouble overall, the 6 of Swords might show that there is some sort of a welcome release or help or support or assistance coming through this month. And the Knight of Pentacles shows you getting back on track financially, getting back to where you feel more comfortable. At least it's not like this. So far, I'm not seeing like a windfall of abundance for you, but certainly a much more comfortable feeling coming through overall. So now let's start clearing these cards up for you, Sag. Let's go deeper into this Devil card energy. It's coming through with the Queen of Cups, but I do have the Page of Cups at the bottom of the deck too. Dealing with water signs like Cancer, Pisces, and Scorpio is coming through, mainly Cancer and Pisces at the moment, and a lot of Virgo energy too. Virgo being the kind of service oriented that I'm picking up on, and then the duty of care or the nourishment or the nurturing element is very much coming through here. For sure, it could be mother and child, like the Queen of Cups and Queen of Pentacles, or Queen of Cups and Page of Cups, or it could be somebody that like you mentor. You could be kind of, you know, in a caring role or something like that more so. But the Queen of Cups with the Devil card, this is tough because this kind of pattern that you find yourself in as the sort of fixer quite often does have deeper roots in your upbringing or the way you've kind of been programmed to sort of survive in the world, fixing others' issues, getting involved on an emotional level in trying to break others' chains or trying to free others from limiting circumstances, and that's bound to take its weight eventually. For some of you it's a true calling, and for others it's just unfortunately a way that sometimes you kind of feel like it keeps you stuck, or you wish you didn't have to fulfill this burden all the time. For others though, it's deeply heartfelt, and I think that it's coming through in your day-to-day life, and this is just something you're sort of used to. But the Queen of Cups is a deeply feeling card, so you're about to, or if not already, Sag, by the time you see this reading, you're really about to feel the weight of what it is that you have been dealing with. That might sound a little bit depressing, but the thing is, there is a real bravery with that, and there's actually a Page of Cups can often be quite a surprising gift. Like, there is a gift there in terms of being able to look at this stuff and process it, and then of course transmute it. Like, look at the mess, look at your crap, if I ever wanted a better word, or your stuff, that's a better word. And you know, once you have that, like, that's how, you know, that matter is where we find the gold, right? So that's the alchemical process. We look at the stuff, the waste material, the stuff that we're trying to eliminate or get rid of, and when it's purified by processing it emotionally, that's where you kind of can get your nugget of gold. So there is a gift here for you, although it seems heavy. There is a gift in terms of coming to terms with the difficult situation. Cancer energy coming through very strongly, and now I have my Scorpio as well with death in reverse. The Scorpio in your life, they're very much less willing to change. The Cancerian people in your life seem to really want your help and assistance and deeply want to connect with you. That's just a side note for anybody with some specifics there. But let's go to the Six of Swords. Help is on the way this month. You continue to help and look after, but you're also getting poured into as well. That actually reminds me of a realization I've made personally as like a Queen of Cups energy. So I'm looking after my two babies at the moment, and I've always heard, you know, you can't fill from an empty cup, but I've noticed how important it is for me to be poured into also, so that I can give so much to who I'm caring for. And if I don't have that, then I'm not showing up the way I want to, and I also show up, like, the cost of that emotionally is quite a lot of guilt that I sometimes feel, or even like I feel inadequate. And I think that if I am being poured into and pouring into myself and identifying my emotional needs and having them met by myself, and obviously reaching out to others for support too, then I can show up in a way that I'm not burdened by such heavy kind of emotional labor afterwards that I have to work through, like, oh my god, I'm not a good mom and things like that. So just make sure that your cup is filled, because the sort of cost of it not being is just more heavy duty, emotional, draining. Ugh. Okay, the Nine of Pentacles. Financial support might be coming through in a much more profound way. Okay, so somebody gifts you some money, wouldn't that be nice? Or some sort of a client wants to tip you or give you a sort of a gift or a bonus. This is kind of like a little bit extra and more than you were expecting, which kind of is in contrary to what I said earlier about you getting back on track. But maybe it is just that extra oomph and lift to your finances this month that really gets you back on track. That would suggest that things had been a little less than desirable there in that area of life, and that, you know, you're quite you're quite grateful for any sort of help you can get financially. And these sort of financial gains that come through this month might be kind of coming through from like, now you've got a steady sort of client, or you've got somebody that wants to buy from you or use your services more frequently, or spreads the word about what you do and gets your name further out there, so that you can continue to harness that kind of financial abundance as you go. And there's another reward, and these rewards can be kind of internalized. So the reward of this is kind of like, pat yourself on the shoulder or the back, because you feel like you've done a lot of this on your own, like that this is a very solo card. This is very independent and self-fulfilled. So it's so enriching to see that card, because it tells me that, you know what, Sagittarius, you did this, and now I sound like ChatGPT AI therapy, which I have never ever used and probably never will, because I'm seeing all these like memes, and it's like, I just think it's funny, because I guess they're like ripping the I can't be swearing all the time. They're taking the Mickey out of, and I can say that maybe as an Irish person, is that an Irish slang? I don't know. Out of ChatGPT being like, you did that, oh, you cheated on your partner, you know what, don't feel bad, that just shows that you know what you want in life. Like, it's obviously a satire, but I just think that this is not satirical. I want to say to you, like, you really did this, and kudos to you. And I think that then it kind of emphasizes more self-worth within yourself, and then you feel more determined to continue this. You feel more determined to prove something to yourself. Now, don't get it twisted. I'm not saying like continue to just rely on yourself. The Six of Swords is somebody being supported here. If you're usually the person that is kind of paddling the canoe for the others, let yourself swap positions there and be looked after as well this month, okay? If somebody offers help, try not to let pride get in the way and accept that help, okay? And even better, you could ask for it, and that would be a really great way to just sort of like stick it to this devil card energy, who would spread some sort of an illusion of fear and kind of get in those cracks in our psyche or in our sort of vulnerable places, and try to trick us into thinking that you're all alone in this, no one wants to help you, and that just leaves you feeling more and more closed off and isolated in devil card energy, exactly where that energy works very powerfully. So just keep an eye out on that, okay? The Knight of Pentacles and the Eight of Cups is also coming through. You throw yourself into your passions and your loves and what fills you up, and here's a beautiful full cup overflowing, the Ace of Cups at the bottom of the deck. So you are fulfilled, you've gotten the memo, you've poured into yourself, you've allowed others to just really take a load off and take a weight off you and meet you where you feel like, you know, we talk about love languages a bit, like people get your love language, they just sort of like shower you with whatever that is. And with the service oriented kind of side of things, I think acts of service personally are a wonderful love language. I mean, it's flipping common, or it's just like human decency really, when you care about somebody, to show them love. But I think like acts of service, like, okay, don't worry, I packed the bags for us, I packed our luggage, I checked us in, I booked the Uber, like it's just a way for somebody to take mental pressure off you so that you can have one less annoying, tense thing going on. But trips and moving and going somewhere surely could come up this month. From around the middle of the month towards June, I see it more likely, but you know, I could be wrong there. Going somewhere, packing up a bag, a picnic, packing some food to bring with, and taking a quite leisurely break, like taking it slow, going for a hike, kind of being outdoors, picking vegetables, making nourishing foods, like being very grounded and taking advantage of the season we're in, Taurus season, to really like appreciate the gifts that Mother Nature has for us. And that could be a way to feel quite ready for a transformation that's just around the corner, okay? Because I see an eclipse energy here in the Eight of Cups, and the Eight of Cups is the most major arcana, minor arcana card to me, as in it really talks about something like that's stirring within us that not everybody would know about, because it's quite unique to us, and there's a sort of like not so tangible quality of this, and it's just not logical, it's steeped in feeling. It's like one day you wake up, you can't explain it, but you just feel this way, and you sort of feel motivated to transform, because eights are also about transformation. So you feel motivated to make a bigger change in your life, which includes leaving something behind. So my thoughts are, jumping ahead to June, is that's when there is a more meaningful change underway, and you know, we'll be seeing Uranus moving through very adaptable and changeable Gemini at that point. It's actually just about to move in at the end of April, so it's just getting started. But that just getting started, Uranus in Gemini, which is a 7 to 8 year transit, that can be when you really notice some of the bigger themes that are going to be coming through in your Gemini part of your chart. And the Gemini part of our chart always is the place that doesn't really stay the same for us. It's where things are most adaptable and most flexible anyway. So you're really going to be noticing like there's an area of your life that is kind of expecting more of a change to be underway, and I'll get into things like that more in the extended for sure. But for now, that's what I've got for you, and I'll see you real soon.